Baltimore sounds right. Hey, I got to tell you something here. There's rumors going around the Dallas Cowboys, and I don't know how strong they are.
There's always rumors going around the Cowboys.
Okay, but this conversation about Myles Garrett, I don't know, man. Listen here. Get this, and the Eagles could be in this too, but I got to tell you,
that's right.
He's not at OTAs. He's burning $1.9 million, not being there. Okay, in his contract, he's got $1.9 million for OTAs if he shows up, and he's burning that and throwing that in the trash can. That's not just shit change. $2 million. I don't know. I mean, Myles Garrett signed that deal, and he signed, sealed, and delivered. I mean, I think there's some smoke to that. I think Cleveland might want to take a look at that again.
As I said, I said this when they redid his contract. He will not be a Cleveland Brown to start this season. I do not believe he will be. I don't believe he ever was. I believe that's the plan all along. So none of this is a surprise at all to me that they're going to try to trade him. I think he's going. I don't think he's going to be in Cleveland this year.
Mark, do you think Dallas would be in that conversation? Do they have enough equity?
You think about it with his contract. I think basically it'd work out to about $35 million a year for the next 4 years. He is 30 years old, but you think about Reggie White going to Green Bay at 32, and he was the best player on defense in football for 3-4 years. You've got to at least listen to something like that. You're not finding anybody in the draft that's going to be that good next year.
In the next 3 years, you're not.
You're not. That would be a game changer. Would the Cowboys do that one? I don't know.
Dallas isn't ready Dallas isn't ready for Myles Garrett. They're not close enough to winning. If you're Garrett, why would you want to go to Dallas and lose when you can just stay in Cleveland and lose? They're not a Super Bowl contender. Dallas is not a true Super Bowl contender.
Okay.
So if he's going to go somewhere, to go somewhere like the
more to do in Dallas than there is in Cleveland. And that would change that defense.
Who cares about that? You're talking about non-football things. I'm talking about football things.
Let me tell you a little something about that guy. Last year, the Cleveland Browns had 5 wins, and they were 4th in the league in defense. That's the kind of impact that guy has on a football team. If you're a competent offense, you're fucking going places with that guy. Let me put this out there to Philly, though. You put that guy in the Eagles front 7, they're going to Super Bowl.
Agreed. Yeah. And that's why I would go. I would be all in if I was the Eagles on Myles Garrett.
But they would want Carter.
That's where I would probably. I might not do it because my plan is I want Carter and him to play together. That's the benefit.
Would you give Davis up for? Would you give Davis up and a 1 for Myles Garrett?
I'd consider it probably. Yeah,
I would too.
Yeah, I love.
He's
Jordan
under
Davis.
contract. This is where maybe you can get and dump Ken Clark too, and a draft pick and a 1st-round draft pick.
Oh, do that in a heartbeat, no problem. Done.
2026. Go ahead, Philly.
I just find it crazy that Dallas would be trying to get people when they're so far from winning. It just boggles my mind. They're far from it.
No,
dude, they were awful competitive against the Eagles.
They're not. But that's your only debut every year. But they do nothing with it.
No. Your offense is as putrid as the Dallas Cowboys defense was last year.
My team just came off a Super Bowl. Your team hasn't done anything in 30 years. Your team hasn't been in the bowl. Your team was in the playoffs. My team just won a Super Bowl 2 years ago.
Okay.
And then they clinched the division twice.
What happened 2 years ago is not relevant to today.
Oh, okay. Then what about last year? Is that relevant?
That's not the same team as it was 2 years ago.
It's not the same team. Okay. But
hey, Mark. Here. Mark, do you think you have a better offensive line than the Eagles?
I won't say that we have a better offensive line. I mean, it just depends on who's healthy. We have a great interior. I'm going to say we have a better interior right now than the Eagles do.
But a group of 5.
That question. Group of 5.
Defensive line or offensive line?
Offensive line. Group of 5. Group of 5, though, not just inside.
I would actually say it's pretty close to being about even.
You know what? Let me hear Philly first. Let me hear him what he thinks. What you
Oh,
think? You have a better O-line than the Cowboys?
If you have everybody healthy on both papers, at both teams, everybody healthy, the Eagles have a better offensive line.
I'd give you that.
But if banged up, and I think health is a legitimate question going into the season.
Okay.
I think it's a little more even than that.
Yes, I think you have the tackles. I think the Cowboys have the guards. The center is debatable. Lane is health. Lane didn't show up to OTAs today. I mean, are you concerned about him going into this year when he missed half the season last year?
I mean, I'm no more worried than anybody his age coming off injury,
Okay.
right? Nothing. I'm not worried about him missing OTAs per se.
Mark, what are you expecting from Dak in 26?
What I'm hoping for is about 3,800 yards and about 32, 34 TDs, because we're also running the football over about 2,000 yards for the season. Having a balanced offense is what I hope, and that we got a defense that's going to give them extra opportunities where it's not going to be we've got to throw 300 yards every week.
Philly, do you think this defense can be better than the 24 defense?
Than the 24 defense?
Yeah.
Yet to be determined. That was a really good defense.
What's your biggest question marks for your Eagle defense in 26?
I think right now, to me, the biggest question mark is I'll give you two. One is that starting safety spot, right? We got to make sure we have somebody that is competent there.
What do you make Cooper going and playing in base there?
Well, I mean I think he did that last year also.
Yep.
Right? It makes sense. Why do you want to take him off the field in base? You don't want him off the field. You want to keep him on the field. So that's not a surprise, and it's a good move. I also think the other edge rusher besides Grenard, like I like Jalen Hunt, I like what he's becoming, but what are we going to get out of Nolan Smith? I think with Nolan Smith getting arrested, and then the questions of has he lived up to his first round billing? I think he's a big question mark. Those are my two question marks on defense.
Mark, give me your defense here. What's your expectations for your defense heading into this? I mean, like Philly said, and I'm going to agree with him on this, you've made some pretty good moves. You got to pay off in the fall.
Mm-hmm.
This has got to pay off in the fall. The moves look good. I like the players. I like the assets. However, Caleb Downs, this is all I could say. He was the most ready guy out of the draft going into this season. However, you still got to pay that shit off. This is pro football. This ain't playing Northwestern. So what do you say about your defense with the personnel changes?
If we can get to 15th in the NFL, 15th. And if we can get to the top half of defenses and take the football away, the biggest thing, wasn't so much that you gave up so much yardage. If you look at the Cowboys in 2014, we went from 31st to 19th in scoring defense, but they took the ball away. They were second in the NFL getting takeaways, which led to a lot of easier scores. This is a crazy statistic. If an offense gets the football, between 30 and 35% of the time, they will score. Off of a turnover, it's 60 to 65%. And that's the key right there, statistic that people don't seem to understand. You got to get those takeaways to really be able to score more points. I think the Dallas Cowboys are going to be more aggressive. We're not going to be sitting in these zones that guys are just lost like we were last year, because literally every time it was third and long, nobody had a clue with where they were supposed to be, and people were just feasting on it. When you get Minnesota's quarterback, scoring points left and right, your defense sucks, and that won't be the case this year.
You think Saquon Barkley's a 1,500-yard back, Philly?
1,500 yards?
Not anymore.
Well, I mean, I guess. Well, shut up. I guess it'll depend how much. I think it'll depend how much they use the running game. I think he's very capable of 1,500 yards. I do not believe Saquon Barkley is at all at the end of the road. I do not believe he's shot. I think he actually looks really good. Looks about 20 pounds lighter. So I expect big things from Barkley. Very capable of it.
Shut up. I like it. Hey, you think Williams is a 1,500-yard back? Mark.
You know, the question you have to
I'll
ask
tell
about
you what, Mark, if you get 1,500 yards out of
if you
here
got out of him, that'd be great.
and you throw for 4,500 and your defense is 15th,
Well, here's the thing, though.
you're going to be in the room for a conversation.
I don't know that Javonte Williams is that great.
How you look at it.
Well, no, I don't know if he's that great of a running back or if he was a product of the pass was setting up the run. Because you had CD and you had George Pickens on the outside, it's hard to put 8 men in the box where he's getting, not having those holes. And that's where he recognized, like, make sure you bring back George Pickens, because if you got 7 men in the box or 6 men in the box, or they're worried about covering those guys and double covering, you're going to feast. But we know when you have ass wide receivers, those holes aren't there because you can put 8 men in the box and go single coverage on the receivers.
Philly, 2 last ones here for you guys. You tell me on Devontae, you are 100% confident that he's going to take the role of A.J. Brown and be a number 1 wide receiver in this new offense. You're going to see no drop-off whatsoever at that number 1 position.
I think he is going to be that and then some. I believe in
so he'll be better
Smith
than A.J. Brown. Okay.
Well, I'm not saying he's going to be better than A.J. Brown. That's a kind of a loaded question, really. You're asking me, is he going to be competent? Is he going to be a legit number 1? Then you're saying, is he going to be better than A.J. Brown? Not many guys are better than A.J. Brown around the league. So, I think that's kind of unfair. If you, what's that?
You expect him to come out to be like Odell Beckham as a rookie?
Who?
No.
A.J. Brown.
Lemon.
We're talking Smith first. I asked him if
talking Earth to Mark. Come off of Cowboy La La Land planet. We're talking about Devontae Smith. Hello.
Okay.
Mark doesn't see. That's what I'm saying. This guy hears one thing.
Sorry. I thought you were saying you were
expecting
him to come out and basically take over the production that A.J. Brown had.
So you think he's going to cover the production then, right?
Yes, I think he's going to be great.
Okay, so do you think George Pickens has a follow-up year like he did a year ago?
I think definitely.
Remember something, CD's going to be out there at the start of the season this year.
Yeah.
And, you're going to be sharing some touches here now and some targets.
He was sharing those targets and stuff last year, but I'm going to tell you, the onus is on him, because here's the thing. The reason why he's not raising a stink about the franchise tag and stuff was, 1, people weren't making the big offers to go ahead and get him because they're still kind of like, are we sure about that? It's on him to have an incredible season and not make any waves, because if he does, you are going to bust the bank. If he can have another 1,200, 1,300 yard season, 8 or more touchdowns, you're going to look and say, that's the premier wide receiver. And the Cowboys now, you got to shit or get off the toilet.
So, Mekhi Lemon, and I'll ask you again on this. You're pretty comfortable that he's going to put up the numbers that Devontae Smith put up the last 4 years, right? He's going to be in that conversation?
I don't know if he's going to put up the numbers of Devontae. He's going to be in the slot primarily.
Somebody's got to take up for the second guy.
Yeah,
right?
but I think he's going to be good. I like him as a rookie, but he is a rookie, and you're going to have to use more than just Lemon. You can't just replace A.J. Brown with one guy. It's not going to happen, and it's not even fair to Lemon. I think that's why you brought in the multiple guys that you have. This is why I prefer to keep A.J. Brown. But what are you going to do?
All right, Mark, I want you to tell everyone out there about the excitement level for the 2026 Dallas Cowboys. How high is the level? Because, again, I think, got to pay it off. I can't sit here right now in May and go, this team's going to go. But you tell me, what's the excitement level? Is this one of the better excitement?
Why can't you do that? You do it with the Eagles. The Eagles are going to be there. They're going to be horrible here. They're going to be horrible here. They're going to be horrible. Why can't we hold Dallas? Why can't we hold Dallas to that standard?
I think your defense is going to be very good. I just think it's based on the offense. If you're 32nd and 3 and outs, you're not going anywhere on defense.
I say let's hold Dallas for 5 minutes to the same standard as the Eagles.
Okay.
And it would collapse. It would collapse.
Is where I am. We have a lot of nice new pieces, but we got to see how they're all going to work together. We've got the Cowboys seemingly trying to get more and more players here, which is something they typically don't do. And if they do something and, go ahead and get a Jaden Brooks, if they go out there and try and get a Myles Garrett, then you start looking at that and saying, yeah, now we've got a lot of high expectations. But they should, and they have to, at least be a playoff team this year.
Okay, Philly, new coordinator, new direction, new excitement in the O-line.
Yeah.
The defense, Vic's back 2 more freaking years. You got everything going on.
Let's go, baby. I'm ready to go play. Put a helmet on.
What's the excitement level for you in the Eagles season this year?
I'm at about a 9 right now. I'm actually very excited about this season.
Super Bowl. You think it's a Super Bowl team?
Well, I think it's very capable of being a Super Bowl team. Yes, I think they're one of the best teams in the NFC, and they will continue to be. And I think a lot of people are going to be proved wrong. Yes. I'm very excited.
Man,
I'm very excited.
All right, there you go.